Got a fair bit here. This is from Dr. Malouf, talking about the Muslims still. A Swedish woman and her daughter traveled to Pakistan and decided to explore a local public market without a male escort. They were immediately surrounded by a pack of zombies with no self-control. The girl was petrified and hid behind her mom, who also froze in fear. Luckily, they were escorted out by a few good Samaritans. I'd still be suspicious. But we'll watch this video here just to see what they're talking about here. It's only 15 seconds. What's wrong? Don't you feel comfortable around those people that you have suicidal empathy for? Yeah. Idiots. Yep. Either that or they simply had their survival instincts bred out of them. That's responding to Hells, who also responds literal suicidal empathy. It's hard to think any other thing. How could a mother be so stupid as to take her daughter to a Muslim patriarchal backward country like Pakistan? Well, you see, you don't understand. She believes that Sweden is patriarchal and backward. By comparison. GETTR is in, and Hex1 says, yes, they are hypocrites. Christians also do this. Most of their rules are Old Testament. Fair, yeah. A lot of very Jewish rules. No bacon, no alcohol. Yeah. Let's see. GETTR, lurking while working. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the stream. Oops. Hang on. Let me check my chat. Also, hi. Hi, GETTR. And X1 says, GG. Good game? Okay. Another video from Pakistan. I'm not watching any more Pakistani stuff. There are rapey people. Yeah, that's probably a fair assessment. Let's see. Is this police being useful or useless? Heavily armed Toronto police officers have been deployed to protect churches and synagogues. It's about time. Over the Passover Easter weekend. Canada wasn't like this when I was a kid. Canada wasn't like this last year. And I will point out that until the Semites started getting threatened, or, started to appear to be threatened, a lot of that is hate hoaxes. Of course, we've seen loads of those stories in the past. But you notice how nobody cared when the churches were being burned down? Yeah. This is fine. Yep. Tim Hortons SWAT. Always slapped directly in our faces. The very concept of a nation founded by European settlers is offensive to me. Fuck you, Justin. Old stock white Canadians are an unpleasant relic and quite frankly replaceable, and we will replace them. Yeah. Trudeau on terrorists who attack Canada. The Liberal Party believes that terrorists should get to keep their Canadian citizenship, because I do, and I'm willing to take on anyone who disagrees with that. It's a shame that you didn't make that a publicly known fucking offer. Import Turd World, become Turd World. Yeah, Skeletor has it right. 404. Oops, elbows not found. Toronto police arrest congregant over synagogue arson. What did I just fucking say? From Lazy B. A Jewish man was arrested for arson against his synagogue. The Toronto Police Service said on Sunday. That's Sunday just gone, I think. 1 second. Yep. Avram Bobrowski, 67, is alleged to have used his key to... I'm faking an attack on my synagogue, so I'm going to use my key to open a door. I know, that was Italian. I'm joking. Is alleged to have used his key to enter the synagogue that he was a congregant of and deliberately set a fire last Thursday. Then reportedly fled the scene. One tends to hope. I mean, he's not going to hang out and get burnt to death. Yeah, the Jews are heavily protected while churches are targeted and burned. Just like the Soviet Union, the Jews have undue influence and it needs to end. My ancestors didn't build Canada from the ground up for this bullshit. Social progress will not have been achieved until heritage Canadians once again hold sovereignty over our country. Alberta Church burned to the ground. 2 Aboriginal suspects charged after a dangerous RCMP chase. And that was All Saints Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Yeah. When we were kids, our country wasn't overrun by genocidal colonizing Muslims. That's not just the Muslims. It's the anti-whites, dude. It's a big category. It's a big tent, and there's a lot of people under it. Unfortunately, Canada will be a Muslim country when you get old. Probably. Looks like it's going to be a fight between the Hindus and the fucking Muslims in this country. That's assuming the Chinese don't just take over everything. Okay, so from National Identity Awareness, a black man verbally assaults a white family on a subway, targets their little boy. The parents desperately shield their terrified child while he screams in their faces, "I'm above you, I'm a black American." This is the daily reality our families now face in public. Our children are being forced to endure raw hatred in the country their ancestors built. Why white people don't like the subway. This was some crazy bullshit. And just to give you a taste of this. Yeah, you don't know what the meaning of half of those words you're saying are. They just rhyme, so you think you're rapping. Fuck you. Also, 2 points of view on what's happening here. 1, why didn't he get up and slap that motherfucker? Simple. He's got to protect a family. He's got a family to look out for. He can't afford to be getting arrested or potentially killed, beating the crap out of some asshole who dearly deserves it, especially when he's not within arm's reach. If he came within arm's reach, different story. At least that's how I would think of it. Also, beating someone like that, don't forget who else is on that fucking train. Meanwhile, they've been milking slavery for over 100 years. True. And they don't even realize that they were the ones who instigated it. Not watching that one, fuck that. From Maxime Bernier. We'll pause here. What is this one? Don't care. From Maxime Bernier, a global news investigation revealed that, as of last summer, of $50.6 million in taxpayer funding, $33.7 million had been spent on administrative costs, and just $16.9 million given to injured claimants. That's before they changed something else. This is a scandal. The money should be used for injured Canadians. To date, there are, quote, 63 reported cases of cardiac arrest, 106 of cardiac failure, 1,231 of myocarditis and pericarditis. The COVID vaccine must be withdrawn from the market. The vaccine is not safe and efficient. It's a dangerous pharmaceutical prototype. Not product. Prototype. We are the clinical test. I want to know how much would be paid if they paid out all the claims. Fuck all. And since I mentioned that something else has been changed, I'll go and find that story, which is... Nope. Jesus, where is that? Oh, I've got way too much to respond to today. Dump that one. Dump that one. Dump that one. We'll save that one for later. That'll be funny. Let's see. Keep those two. That one can go. That one can go. That one can go. Fuck's sakes, where is it? It's probably meant for tomorrow. In any case, what the government has done is take over the vaccine injury program, and now it's been renamed to the vaccine impact program, or words to that effect. So yeah, let's see here. Can't wait to see how they react with the next COVID's rollout. Yeah, scandals, corruption, murder. It's not a government, it's cartel. Thanks for the reveal. 1 for you, 2 for me. Yeah. Basically, it's about 66% of the money is being eaten up in administration costs. And you can't tell me they didn't know that. Okay, let's go over to Britain for at least one story. Well, I'll go back to Britain, I guess. We'll talk about this one. Children in the UK are being taught that Stonehenge was built by black people and that slaves had their body parts altered as a form of gender transition. The UK has fallen. Well, see, the thing is, they're kind of right about the gender transition thing. Slaves, taken by the Arabs, were neutered, which means their gender was changed to eunuch. And someone responded, and Nero had Sporus castrated before marrying him. Kind of irrelevant, but thanks, Steve. Dude, you were more full of shit than my diaper. You spelled "your" wrong. You're telling me black people built Europe and America, but still haven't built Africa. Yep. Yeah, there is much what the in the land of fuck here. As they say in England, Allahu Akbar. Yeah, speaking of Keir Starmer, let's talk about how Keir Starmer... we'll get rid of this one. Keep that one. Get rid of this one. Where is it? Is it this one? No. I'll find it. There it is. Okay. I'm going to triage a few of these now. Okay. So, Keir Starmer is absolutely determined that free speech will be protected in the UK. He turned the UK into a tyrannical dictatorship. UK police storm homes to arrest people for Facebook comments. Yes, I'm not fucking joking. They did it again. I think about here.
Oh, no, I spade it, I think. Keys.
Oh, hang on.
So I'm actually being arrested.
You're going to be arrested, okay?
Right,
Take
and
that to the police station.
right.
Okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page.
Free speech is protected in Britain. You just can't talk about anything on Facebook. Yeah. Keir Starmer destroyed the UK. It was always the women, yeah. You think that's bad? Yeah. What is this? Curtis Yarvin. It's not often I get to talk about Minch's Molebug. Let's see what this one is. Sorry, my nose is itching again. Sometimes I feel good, and then I reflect that 99.9999% of Americans either A, believe totally and uncritically in this pure Marvel movie comic book slop history of World War II, either as lib slop or as the slightly different con slop we see below, or B, are Holocaust deniers. Yeah. So, from Devin Erickson, Europe's disease is not a disease of America. It is a disease of World War II. In 46, after we rescued them from themselves and each other, Europeans crawled out of the rubble they had made of their continent, looked around at their mess, wept for a bit, and then formed the wrong conclusions. They decided that ethnic nations are bad. Okay. Yeah. We're not even going to dignify that with a continuance. This is responding to Landor. Please take your bases and leave. Europe needs to stand on its own 2 feet for sure. We outsourced our security to America, but that outsourcing was a catastrophe. The entire continent has been invaded and destroyed under your protection. No, that's absolutely the wrong thing to think, Lander. The U.S. has bases, which means they have somewhere to stop as they're passing by. It doesn't mean they have any real impact on your country, other than maybe potentially minor economically. Let's see, what have we got here? More journalistic bullshit from the Canadian media, well, the maple-flavored Pravda crowd. From Mario Zelaya, breaking misinformation. I'll throw Mario a follow. Pierre Poilievre takes to another U.S. podcast to sketch out his vision for Canada. First on the Joe Rogan Experience, and next on Steve Bartlett's Diary of a CEO. It's another U.S. podcast. Except the Diary of a CEO is hosted by Steve Bartlett, a British entrepreneur based in the UK. It's the biggest podcast in Europe. Yeah. These are the people who think they're qualified to tell you what is and isn't misinformation. They can't even Google where a podcast is from before publishing a headline. Yeah. Writing hit pieces they didn't even fact check. Yeah, I have a video I'm going to be doing this week on a hit piece that was written about the entropy platform, which several people I know use. So, yeah. Okay. From Francesco, Sweden, an Eritrean immigrant taxi driver rapes a 15-year-old girl. Her boyfriend organizes with his 3 older brothers. They trick the foreigner into a nature reserve with the promise of sexual favors, overpower him, strangle him, and hang his body from a tree in the forest, trying to stage it as suicide. They get arrested. The oldest of the 4 brothers, 18 at the time, gets a life sentence. The other 3 brothers and the girl herself get between 3 and 4 years in closed youth detention. The girl and her 15-year-old boyfriend got 3.5 years each for aiding and abetting, as they weren't at the scene. In appeal, 3 brothers were acquitted of murder. The oldest one gets 7 years instead of life. The others get closed youth care. So they're still being punished for doing the right thing. Yeah. When your leaders choose criminals over you, your leaders are criminals. Yeah. And let's see some more evidence that you cannot coexist with some peoples. And I'll try to pause this early on because this starts to be egregious from the get-go. I believe it's this fella here you want to pay attention to. I'll blow this up. Wait for that to go away. Go away. Yeah, this guy here. Just watch his behavior as he's approaching this woman here. Or girl, I think. Right here, he reaches out, slaps somebody. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And then he does this. And that finally gets people off their ass. What the fuck were you waiting for? Also, for the love of fuck, people, put your heads on swivels in public. Yeah, now you're going to go after him. Yeah. And this one, in the backpack, makes a swipe at him and then gets in the way of the guys actually pursuing him. Situational awareness isn't a fucking superpower. It's a skill that you can cultivate. Fucking use it. Jesus. I feel terrible for this girl. What about the other people that he hit? Or did you not see the entire video? Yeah. How the hell do people walk around having zero awareness of this? Fucking victim blame much? Yes, granted. You should have your fucking head on a swivel. But Jesus Christ, you don't blame somebody for getting punched in the face by some asshole at random. From the noticer. Adolescents who claim to be transgender have significantly worse mental health after being subjected to medical gender reassignment. A large Finnish study has found. Go figure. The fucking suicide numbers don't change before and after surgery. How could mental health be any better after surgery? Yeah, these people couldn't accept themselves the way they were. What makes you think they'll be able to accept themselves when they've been mutilated? From Lauren Chen? Surprised I actually bookmarked that. Let's see what we've got from Lauren Chen here. Forcibly draft men to die for their country and no one bats an eye. This is true. I'll throw her a follow. Suggests that women have children for their country and suddenly everyone starts freaking out. We can force men to die, but we can't even ask women to become mothers. Yep. German men must ask the army for permission to leave the country for more than 3 months under new rules. We covered that story earlier. Yeah. Profound. It's even worse than that. They're telling women not only not to have children, but if they get knocked up, to kill that baby. Yeah, want to fight climate change, have fewer children. Why have 4 children when you could have 7? Gee. What happens when you send trillions of dollars to Africa? You end up with more starving Africans that you have to pay for. And they move. Yeah. Male privilege. In Switzerland, military service conscription is compulsory for all Swiss men, but not women. Something the Israelis actually do right, oddly enough, is they conscript everybody. If a man is not fit for military service, he is required to pay 3% extra tax until the age of 30. This is known as military exemption tax. Naturally, women are also exempt from paying this tax. In 2014, the Swiss voted on whether or not to keep conscription for men. This means women were able to vote on whether or not military service is compulsory for men. Despite not having had to participate in conscription themselves, the majority of women voted to keep conscription compulsory for men. Fucking cunts. Die for your dying country, yeah. Oh. Okay, so what's this? Guys should serve NS, national security, I assume. Become better person, train themselves, make them more responsible. Would you volunteer to serve? No. 2 years doing something not useful to me in the future, push back my studies. Yeah. To be honest, everyone else has lost their shit except Eastern Europe. Well, yeah. Speaking of people losing their shit, this guy has a question for you. I'm a dude. Is it gay to want this? I had a one-word response. Very. Yes, it is. Says Kentucky Girl. Absolutely agree. To each their own. Okay, I'm sorry. I dig this. What is this? Is this a Glock? The Nintendo Zapper. I'm not sure that's a Glock. That's fucking gorgeous. I love that. Fucking want one of those. Too bad I can't ever fucking have it. Which reminds me. Okay. Oh shit, yours is better, yeah. I like the cordless hole puncher from Milwaukee here. That's fucking sweet. Gunsmiths. Odin's Gunsmiths Workshop. Oh, nice. Odin's Workshop Gunsmiths, okay. Not a Milwaukee fan, got a Ryobi. Jesus, is that a... What's the one that everybody laughs at? Not Kel-Tec, the other one. The cheap one. Oh, what's the cheap gun brand? High Point. There we go. It's a fucking Ryobi on a High Point. Oof, God. Okay, we fixed it so it won't scare anyone. Fucking terrifies me. Gross. And don't assume its identity. It's not an AR-15. It identifies as a wireless handheld peacekeeping device. Okay, that looks fucking badass. I don't know what character this is. I think it says here. That's Maru. I have no idea what that is. The Lego one, yeah, I've seen that one a few times. I don't know about the structural effectiveness of Lego as a substitute for Picatinny rail. I like that it comes with this cute case to store your ammo. Yeah. Oh. Move over to the dark side. Cute. Imagine breaking into a house only to get smoked by dick bullets. Yeah. 9mm parabellend. Yep. I'm a guitarist. My absolute favorite guitar I've ever played or owned is this hot pink, ridiculous-looking girly guitar. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Is it dignified? Doubtful. Do I love it more than any other physical possession in my life? Absolutely. Guitars are a bit different. What the fuck is that? Other than horrendous. Only gay cops seize this gun as evidence. Nice backplate. Nope is gun. What's this? This is gay, though. Putting a pony on a non-Colt firearm is just incredibly gay. Oh, I think that's meant to be a... Yeah, that's fucking horrendously... That's historical fucking crime right there. That's cultural vandalism right there. Historical vandalism. There we go. There's the word I was looking for. I like this. I don't mind this. Guitars, it's a different deal with guitars. I mean... It's not gay if you shoot it like this. Yeah. Jesus. It's a hell of a suppressor. Gun testing with Autumn. Yeah, I do love that kid. She's fun. Not if you're going to counter-protest mostly peacefully. Jesus. Hell Kitty. Yeah. Still kawaii. Yeah, but that's you. Who cares? Fair, yeah. You know, you do you. But, I think very. Gross. Flamer. The Pikachuzica. Yeah. Fuck out of here with that gay shit. Yeah. What's this one? Would you prefer male companion? Okay, let's see what else we've got here. I think this is my... Yeah, this is my next to last one. So from Jason Bartlett, who is getting a follow. Since moving to America to escape the extreme violence against white people in South Africa, I've managed to grow a nice flock of sheep to supply my family and community with quality grass-fed lamb. This is what white South Africans do when you leave them alone in safety.
Big boy.
Oh, I meant to blow that up. It didn't happen. Let's just look at some sheep for a second. Well, for about 30 seconds. Yep, it's just sheep. Just grazing.
Like a...
I can hear him talking, but I'm not really that concerned. Let's see. Feel free to subscribe if you want to watch me grow my flock and farm. And I said, I'm glad you're thriving. And I am. I'm very glad to see him thriving. You are the type of immigrant we want, a contributor to society. Yeah. Nothing. It was an old hay and cattle farm. What grass did you plant for them? Yeah, I didn't have to plant anything for them. Sheep. They'll eat anything. Now get some good dogs and start trialing. He is risen. Happy Easter Sunday, yeah. Okay, so, I did mention earlier that white boys need to come up with some different tactics. This is the last story of the day. Well, second last story. I do have one more thing. White men are starting to gang up in fights. They realized fair fights is spiritual boomerism. No more fair fights. The only time you fight fair is amongst yourselves. Otherwise, yeah. If you need to settle... If two white men need to settle a disagreement through violence, then you do it mano a mano, you do it one-on-one. No one needs to die. No one needs to get grievously injured. First man down is the loser. Done. Or, you know, go until the other guy says stop. Yeah. And, of course, the guy's trying to stop him. Yeah. Now, I will point something else out. Once they're down, kicking them more than a couple of times, don't do that. basically puts you into the I just want you dead category. Yeah, you don't want to behave like that. But absolutely use violence to defend yourself and your friends if you must. Yeah. It's the same tactic they'd use against you. Why wouldn't you? Okay, so that's it for... Oh, there we go. I think. Slightly frozen here now. Again. Okay, there we go. Broke that loose. So, as is customary, I do like to try and end with something a little happier. So today, you get Newfoundlands. Yes, you get Newfoundland dogs, because if I can find a Newfoundland dog video that I haven't seen, you're going to see it too.
Let me introduce you to the soggy, snuggly lifeguard of the dog world, the Newfoundland. This dog looks like a bear, acts like...
Okay, it's not Newfoundland, it's Newfoundland. Newfoundland, if you're actually trying to say it absolutely properly. Yeah, it's not a Newfoundland, it's a Newfoundland. That's a good boy.
a nanny and drools like it's being paid for it. First off, they're huge. Not just big, living room dominating, dinner plate-sized paws, walk through a doorway sideways huge. You don't own a Newfoundland. You share your house with a sentient mattress that sheds like a snowstorm. These gentle giants were bred to save drowning sailors, and they...
No, actually they weren't. They were not bred to save drowning sailors. They were bred as labor animals, as draft animals. The fact that they have webbed paws and the drool both appear to be adaptations that were bred for, or at least not bred out, because the drool creates a coating that prevents damage to the mouth when they're being used to pull nets. Yeah. These dogs are fucking savages, and they're not dangerous at all.
Know it. Drop a sock in the bathtub, they're on it like it's a code red. They've got webbed feet, a built-in doggy life jacket, and the heroic energy of a firefighter wrapped in fluff. But
there is no animal less needful of
webbed
a life
feet,
jacket
a built-in doggy life jacket, and the
than a Newfoundland dog. In fact, putting a life jacket on it might actually slow it down in the water. Yeah, they have a double coat that repels water for a reason.
Heroic energy of a firefighter wrapped in fluff. But let's talk about the drool. It's not a joke. It's a lifestyle. You'll find strings of it on the ceiling, on your pants, somehow in your coffee. Newfies leave...
But it doesn't actually occur in every Newfoundland bloodline. It's just apparently most of them. Yeah, and that could be bred out, but I wouldn't recommend it.
A trail like a snail made of love and spit. And they are sweethearts. Giant, soulful, calm as hell.
It's just a big lapdog, guys. What's the problem?
Love bombs who want nothing more than to nap next to you and casually lean their entire 150 pounds against your legs like a slow-moving emotional avalanche. If you've got one of these slow-blinking, wall-leaning cuddle glaciers, drop their pic in the comments, especially if they look like a bear who just saved a drowning child and now wants a snack. So yeah, the Newfoundland is fluffy, massive, heroic, and full of drool.
There's one other thing that I always like to point out about Newfoundlands. When it comes to every other dog breed, and I've never encountered one that does anything different other than the Newfoundland dog, if a dog is defending you, what it generally does is proactively attack what it perceives to be a threat. A Newfoundland will put itself between you and the threat and stand there. It will actively practice area denial rather than proactive attack.
Love and sleepy wisdom. They're basically what happens if a therapist and a Saint Bernard had a baby and raised it in the ocean.
A fun fact, you wouldn't have Saint Bernards if not for Newfoundlands. Oh, okay. And of course, this will tell you some of my subscriptions. Actually, I'm not subscribed to Matty O, but I do watch a lot of the unsubscribed stuff. So, yeah. Okay, so that is it for the recorded section today. I have to do a bunch of edits later. But I will be back in about 15 minutes or so. I know, more like 20. Didger is here, and I can hear him going, yeah, sure, 15. Anyway, I will be back shortly. I will leave you with the gaming page. We will throw up the vid cover, and the interlude graphics should be... Okay, we'll take the vid cover down. Okay, I will be back shortly, so I'm going to shut off my cam and my mic, and I will stop the recording here. If you would like to support what I do, please do go over to my Ko-Fi and fling me a few bucks. Also, any of those internet support of internet things would be deeply appreciated. Have a good day.